Welcome to our channel. Please like and subscribe. 10 subtle signs someone secretly resents you. Not everyone who smiles at you likes you. Some people clap for your success in public, while quietly hoping you fail in private. And the strange part is, resentment is rarely obvious. It hides behind fake support, forced kindness, passive comments, delayed replies, tiny behaviors most people ignore because people who resent you usually don't want confrontation. They want plausible deniability. They want to seem innocent while subtly draining your confidence, your energy, and sometimes even your opportunities. The truth is, resentment often grows silently, sometimes from jealousy, sometimes insecurity, sometimes because your existence reminds someone of what they lack. And if you don't recognize the signs early, you can spend years around people secretly rooting against you. Today, we're breaking down 10 subtle signs someone secretly resents you, and the psychology behind why people hide bitterness instead of expressing it honestly. Watch closely, because some of these signs are so subtle. You may suddenly realize certain people in your life were never truly on your side. Let's begin. Number 10. They rarely celebrate your successes. One of the clearest signs of hidden resentment is emotional absence during your wins. When something good happens to you, their reaction feels small, forced, delayed, unenthusiastic. Maybe they say, "Nice," but with no real emotion behind it. Maybe they immediately change the subject. Maybe they ignore your achievement entirely. People who genuinely care about you usually feel happy when you succeed. But resentment changes that emotional response, because your success unintentionally reminds them of their own frustrations, insecurities, or lack of progress. So instead of celebrating with you, they emotionally withdraw. And over time, you begin noticing they only seem comfortable when you're struggling, not thriving. Number 9. They constantly make backhanded compliments. Backhanded compliments are resentment disguised as politeness. "You actually look good today." "Wow, I didn't expect you to pull that off. You're lucky things always work out for you." On the surface, it sounds harmless, but underneath, there's criticism hidden inside the compliment. Psychologically, this allows someone to express negativity without appearing openly hostile. If confronted, they can always claim they were joking or misunderstood, but repeated backhanded compliments reveal something deeper, a need to subtly lower your confidence while maintaining social cover. And people who secretly resent you often rely heavily on this behavior. Number 8. They minimize your problems but magnify their own. When you talk about your struggles, they seem dismissive, but when they talk about theirs, suddenly everything becomes serious and important. You might say you're exhausted from work, and they respond with, "That's nothing compared to what I deal with." Or maybe they barely acknowledge your feelings at all. This happens because resentment reduces empathy. Someone who secretly resents you often struggles to emotionally validate your experiences, partly because they're too focused on themselves, and partly because they don't fully want to support you emotionally. Healthy relationships involve mutual empathy. Resentful relationships become competitions over suffering, attention, and importance. Number 7. They secretly enjoy your mistakes. This is one of the most uncomfortable signs to notice. When something goes wrong in your life, they suddenly become more engaged, more interested, more talkative, more emotionally responsive. Maybe they act concerned, but there's a strange energy underneath, almost like relief. Sometimes resentment creates hidden satisfaction when another person falls, because it temporarily restores emotional balance in their mind. Your struggles make them feel less insecure about their own life, and while most people would never openly admit this feeling, it can quietly appear through body language, tone, or subtle enthusiasm during your bad moments. Number 6, they frequently compete with you. Not all competition is healthy. Some people turn everything into comparison. You share good news, and they immediately bring up their own achievements. You buy something nice, and suddenly they need something better. You accomplish a goal, and they rush to prove they've done more. This constant comparison often comes from insecurity mixed with resentment. Instead of seeing your success as inspiring, they experience it as threatening. So interactions become less about connection and more about keeping score. And over time, the relationship starts feeling emotionally exhausting because you no longer feel supported, you feel measured. Number 5. Their support disappears when you need it. Most words are easy. Real support requires effort. Some people say all the right things until you actually need help. Then suddenly they're unavailable, too busy, too distracted, too inconsistent. People who secretly resent you often enjoy the image of being supportive without wanting to truly invest emotionally in your well-being. And when difficult moments arrive, their lack of genuine care becomes visible because resentment quietly limits generosity, especially emotional generosity. Number 4, they gossip about you indirectly. Resentment often leaks through indirect communication. Someone may smile in your face while criticizing you behind your back, sometimes subtly, sometimes disguised as concern. "I'm just worried about them. I hope success isn't changing them." This allows resentment to spread socially without open confrontation, and psychologically, Gossip can temporarily make insecure people feel powerful or superior, especially when they feel intimidated by someone else's confidence, growth, or success. People who truly respect you usually protect your reputation when you're absent. People who resent you quietly damage it when you're not around. Number 3, they become cold when attention shifts to you. Have you ever noticed someone suddenly become distant, quiet, or irritated when others praise you? Maybe the mood changes instantly. Maybe they interrupt. Maybe they withdraw emotionally from the conversation. Resentment often becomes strongest when someone feels overshadowed, especially in social environments. Attention is powerful socially. Validation feels valuable, and insecure people may struggle watching others receive admiration they secretly crave themselves. So, instead of joining the positive energy, they emotionally disconnect from it. Number 2, they subtly undermine your confidence. This sign is especially dangerous because it happens gradually. A resentful person may constantly plant small seeds of doubt in your mind, not enough to appear openly cruel, but enough to slowly affect your confidence. You sure that's a good idea? I don't know if you're ready for that. People like us usually don't succeed at things like that. At first, it may sound protective or realistic, but over time, the pattern becomes clearer. Their words consistently make you question yourself, lower your standards, or hesitate before pursuing growth. And sometimes, this happens because your ambition reminds them of risks they were too afraid to take themselves. Number 1, you feel drained around them. This is the sign many people ignore the longest. Your body notices tension before your mind fully understands it. After spending time with certain people, you feel emotionally exhausted, anxious, smaller, less confident, even if nothing openly negative happened. That's because humans constantly absorb emotional signals subconsciously. Tone, facial expressions, passive aggression, social tension, hidden hostility, and prolonged exposure to resentment can feel psychologically heavy, even when it's subtle. Healthy relationships usually leave you feeling supported, calm, or energized. Resentful relationships often leave you emotionally depleted without fully understanding why. And sometimes, that feeling alone tells you everything you need to know. The truth is, not everyone who stays close to you genuinely wants the best for you. Some people secretly resent your growth, your confidence, your happiness, your potential, not always because you did something wrong, but because your existence triggers insecurities they haven't resolved within themselves. And understanding this isn't about becoming paranoid. It's about becoming aware. Because once you recognize hidden resentment, you stop confusing forced support with genuine loyalty. You stop shrinking yourself to make insecure people comfortable, and you become more careful about who truly deserves access to your energy. So ask yourself honestly, have you noticed any of these signs in someone around you? And maybe even more importantly, have you ever caught yourself feeling resentment towards someone else? If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more psychology, human behavior, and self-awareness content designed to help you better understand the people around you and yourself. Because sometimes the most dangerous emotions are the ones people never say out loud. That was excellent. Please like and subscribe for daily lessons. See you next time.